before I even get off into it, I've been I've been just coming in, popping in, you know, dropping these wisdom bombs because it's been so much going on, you know. And if you on your journey, you know it's been so much going on with all that's going on within us. You hear me? But I said all that to say thank you, sisters and brothers who have been donating. I haven't acknowledged that in the previous videos, but those who've been donating, sending love offerings, you know, to me concerning what I do here, the work that I put in, because it's a lot of work. Those who appreciate me for that through your donations and your love offerings, I want to acknowledge y'all. I appreciate y'all. I do not want that to go unnoticed. You hear me? But like I said, been so much going on, and I just been coming in, you know, dropping the bombs and popping up out of here because it's so much more to do. It's so much more to do in me and in you. And if you doing the work concerning what's going on within you, you already know what I mean when I say that. Because if we don't gain mastery of the things moving within us, then it just leaves us that much more open and susceptible to those same things gaining mastery over us. And we don't want to be one of them people. That's why they so important, you know. That's why you important, and that's why we here. You hear me? And it's an honor to be here. And it's definitely an honor for me to be me, and I hope it's an honor to be you. With that being said, I hope everybody feeling good for no reason at all, radiating, operating, vibrating, emanating, being the highest demonstration, you know, in the best version of yourself. You hear me? Because it ain't nothing like being you. You hear me? Stillness, abundance, love, light, health, and wholeness to the cosmic conscious family and soul tribe. Three times. You hear me? And all that other good stuff. You hear me? But well, we're gonna get it in. It's you versus you. You know, in layman terms, it's you versus you. That's all. It's you versus you. And you ain't gotta be perfect no more than I have to be perfect, because we not. But we do have to have a heart. You hear me? We do have to have a heart. And that's gonna mean different things to everybody who come across here and hear it. You hear me? And some people who may come across just to listen, it ain't gonna mean nothing to, because they don't have no heart. But that's not your problem, just like it's not mine. You hear me? I say that because we are creators. Not only are we creators, we are co-creators with Source, with God, you know, with Allah, with Jah, with the Most High, with however you identify. You hear me? Whether you think you a self-generated being or not, that's a whole nother thing. But we couldn't get here. We couldn't be here without the forces and elements, you know, that allow us to be here. Earth, air, wind, water, fire. You hear me? And a whole bunch of other things that hold us together while we in this body. You hear me? And for us to be in a body. You hear me? Because when those bands start to break, you know, ain't nothing we can wish, ain't nothing we can affirm to keep us here. For those who get it, you got it. You hear me? But we are creators, and we are co-creators with Source Creator, Source Intelligence, and we're here to create, not copy and paste. Because it's a difference. I say that because I'm gonna repeat it again, because I'm led to. We're here to create, not copy and paste. Because it's a difference between those who have allowed life and those who are allowing life to help us be who we meant to be, in contrast to those who not. You hear me? To those who haven't. You heard? So if you're doing the work, salute to you. I want to say that. And before I go further, I want to say, and this contrary to popular belief, depending on your belief system, we can't pray everything away. We can't positively affirm everything away. That's just not the reality. That's just not reality. More so, it's just not the reality that we living in. If you know, you know. Some things we just gotta walk through. You hear me? Some things we're gonna have to sit in. And the things that we gotta walk through, or the things that we gotta sit in, are also the very things that we're gonna have to work through. With that being said, that's gonna touch who meant to receive it, because you're in a place that you're able to accept it. You hear me? But I say that to say this in the form of encouragement. Life has so much more. Life has so much meaning beyond just living, family. Life has so much meaning beyond just living. And I say that because I was asked, why do I talk about so many things in the way that I do? And I responded because through my own self-work and brutal self-honesty, I learned that projection is always easier than assimilation. I repeat, projection is always easier than assimilation. And as I said earlier, we're here to create, not copy and paste. But projection is always easier than assimilation, especially where self-work has been traded for the shortcuts. You hear me? And for those who don't know what assimilation means to take in fully and comprehend information and ideas. You hear me? And I say that because we are detached from what we know, and we are detached from what we know how to handle before we be willing to work through it. You hear me? And that's why it's a need to know when. And I repeat, it's a need to know when to make detachment your best friend. And there was a video that I just dropped called just that, know when to make detachment your best friend. And I'm gonna repeat it. We'll detach from what we don't know how to handle before we work through it. So it's a need to know when to make detachment your best friend. Otherwise, you're gonna shortchange yourself from an opportunity to grow. I live too much of my life doing that. Shortchanging myself from an opportunity to grow, because rather deal with what's done been put in my lap, to embrace and face, so I'm able to erase it. I just detached. You hear me? So I shortchanged myself from an opportunity to grow by doing that. You hear me? So when I was ready to dive fully within myself and do what was needed in concerning myself, confront what's needed in concerning myself, by embracing what's needed in concerning myself, to be able to erase it. It made it way more rougher than it could have been. I hope somebody listened. See, it's important, and I say that because it's also important to know when to reset in order to reconnect. And anybody who moving against the current or the direction that you want to go, you know what I mean when I say that, because you can feel it. You see, it's important to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you move against the current of the direction of where you want to go, you feel it. You hear me? And it's so important to understand our internal map. It's important to be connected to our internal compass when navigating this is external reality, this external matrix. Otherwise, it'll have you flipping out. You know, it'll have you flipping out, just like it had me flipping out when I was flipping out. You know, before I turned myself all the way in. And you got and in order to put yourself together, you got to rip yourself apart. You hear me? And flipping out and show you the work that's needed in order to be able to do that. And besides, we got enough. We see enough of that already. We got enough of them already here. You hear me? I say that to say this, family, because I ain't trying to be long. I'm just trying to come through with a strong. If you feeling anger, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling frustration, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling irritation, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling in despair, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling shame, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling that you're not enough, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling not worthy, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling unsatisfied, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling not happy, feel good for no reason at all, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling lonely, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. Because being by yourself don't mean that you're alone. You see? And if you're alone and feeling lonely, that means you're in bad company with yourself. You see? So it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling sick, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling confused, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling in need, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling resentful, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling worried, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling joyless, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling unfulfilled, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling incomplete, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. If you're feeling lack, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. You hear me? If you're feeling fear, it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. Because all that means that you're out of control. So it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. It's not personal. It's vibrational. You hear me? But it's a need to know when to reset, to reconnect. See, we can easily fall in the trap of trying to control conditions, trying to control other people, you know, instead of controlling ourselves, instead of controlling oneself. You hear me? You know, and emotions are powerful things. Emotions is a powerful force. You hear me? To be reckoned with. If you're aware of your own, you know. You hear me? And I say that because we walk through the shadows of all those things that I mentioned. If it's not coming at you, then you walking with the shadow of it. If you gain the mastery over it, then you walking amongst the shadows of it. You hear me? We walk through the shadows of all those things, and we hear people talking about I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I will fear no evil, and so forth and so on. And then as soon as the situation hit, we see the total contrary. You hear me? But we walk through the shadow of those things all the time, and as I just quoted, we always hear it being quoted, you know. But how many of us internally know beyond reasonable doubt everything that you want on the other side of all those words that I just mentioned, and which I also said, if you're feeling any of those things, you need to know when to reset, to reconnect. How many of us know beyond reasonable doubt, internally, that everything that we want is on the other side of those words, and it's gonna make some people uncomfortable, and that's okay. It just show you what you got to work on. It's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay with not being okay. It's a reason for that. It's a purpose for that. You know, God forbid if you don't take the high road towards getting there. You hear me? Instead of finding the problem with me by pointing it out. You hear me? The only thing in your way, I said that to say this. The only thing in your way is you. That's the most brutal. That's the most brutal. That's the most beautiful discovery about myself that I stepped into. The only thing that was in my way was me. Whether it was my attitude, my outlook, my emotions, or my actions. The only thing that was in my way was me. So the only thing in your way, if anything in your way, is you. But I know ain't nobody perfect. So it's something to work on somewhere. Why not now? But the only thing in your way is you. And the vibration you carry that can get you where you want to go may also be the vibration that you carry that can block you from where you want to get to. I say that to say this, family. Make peace. Make peace. Not only make peace with it, but make peace within yourself. Reset and reconnect. Know when to reset and reconnect in order to make peace with it, so you can make peace within yourself, so you can have peace within you. Because if you can't make peace with it, and if you can't make peace with where you are, how you gonna have it where you going? I repeat, if we don't gain mastery over the things moving within us, we're susceptible to those things moving within us to gain mastery over us. We don't want to be them people. That's why this important. That's why you important. That's why we here. That's what make me important. Because that's why we here. How clear can I make it? See, when you see the sun, you peep the shade. You hear me? And since I'm not no tree, this ain't about shade being thrown. It just is what it is. You hear me? And it come from where it come from, because I'm more non-physical than I am visible. So I use my timeless consciousness accordingly. You hear me? And once again, I appreciate y'all who appreciate me for doing that, and show that appreciation through the donations and the love offerings. I'm very grateful and appreciative for that. I want to make that clear once again. You heard? Other than that, feel good for no reason at all. It's you versus you. I don't care who you share your life with, who you share your life around, so forth and so on. Feel good for no reason at all, because it's you versus you. You hear me? When you leave here, you ain't taking nobody with you. You hear me? And while you here, everybody can't go with you. You hear me? Command change over your life. And I repeat, when you leave here, you can't take nobody with you. And while you here, everybody can't go with you. Because if everybody ain't fall, everybody can't climb. You hear me? As I said, command change over your life. Tap into your faculties. I am, I feel, I do, I speak, I see, I know. Tap into your faculties. Get your chakra spinning. Get your energy center spinning. Get your meridian spinning. Whatever you know I'm at. You hear me? It's only you against you. Ain't no competition where it ain't no comparison. It's only you versus you. And with that being said, when it comes to this internet and social media hype, don't get yourself caught up in believing anything you see, because I don't believe nothing I see. You hear me? Because you can't get the full picture swiping and scrolling. You hear me? So don't get caught up in it. You can't get the full picture swiping and scrolling. Not even with what you see here. You hear me? So don't fall for the filters, and I don't use none. You hear me? Don't fall for the filters. I don't know who needed to hear that, but who is meant for is meant for. Once again, salute to the Cosmic Consciousness family and Soul Tribe. Salute to the new subscribers. Welcome to the family, and welcome back to the Cosmic Consciousness family and Soul Tribes. Those of you who come through, you know. Salute to the peekaboos and passerbys. You hear me? As we learn from ourselves, we learning from y'all too. You heard? Other than that, once again, feel good for no reason at all. It's been an honor being here. I'm known as Sawu. Be you how you be you. Until we do it again, peace. I love y'all, family. And I'm out. You heard?